Hello everyone, I'm Nick Rose. The Barryville Area Arts Association, in collaboration with the Hispanic Society of America, New York, had a Visions of Spain event that we're really excited about sharing with you. It included live Spanish guitar music by Peter Kolesar, including Pavan, written by Louis Milan around 1536. This song is from the first printed book of music for the guitar, or vihuela. The vihuela is an ancestor of the guitar, which was something of a cross between the guitar and the lute. We also had a presentation by Stephanie McClure, the Museum Department Registrar of the Hispanic Society, that took us on a tour of Spain through the murals of Joaquin, Sorolla, y Bastida. This one you're looking at now is called Visions of Spain, Valencia. Also, Stephanie and the Hispanic Society's Senior Curator of Paintings, Drawings, and Metalwork, Dr. Marcus B. Burke, chose 16 prints that we have on display in a standing exhibit, all to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month and the enormous contributions made to Western culture. Let's listen in as Peter Kolesar gets us in the mood for this event. First up in the standing exhibit is Ecstasy of St. Mary Magdalena by Luisa Roldan, which we're dating around 1690. Luisa was actually the first female sculptor recorded in Spain, and according to legend, St. Mary Magdalena was lifted up to the sky by angels each day to attend heavenly prayers. Here, Magdalena is supported by angels and cherubs. Next up is St. Asiscus by Pedro de Mena, which we're dating around 1680. He was the patron saint of Cordoba, Spain. After several previous attempts on his life where he demonstrated great faith, he was beheaded. In de Mena's creation, the saint wears the uniform of a Roman soldier, has reverse-painted glass eyes, and possibly real human teeth. The red slice on his neck refers to the way that he died. This is the head of Medusa, dated about 200 after death. This mosaic was excavated in 1901 in Alcolea del Rio, Spain. Medusa's head was used typically as a protective talisman in the entryway of Roman homes to keep away the evil spirits. Next up is a bust of Joaquin, Sorolla y Bastida, created in 1932 by Mariano Benuri y Gil. Joaquin Sorolla is the artist who created the mural cycle Visions of Spain at the Hispanic Society of America. He was recreated in bronze by the sculptor, who was a good friend of him. This is a replica of a commemorative marble monument that was commissioned 9 years after Sorolla's death in 1923 by Archer Millington Huntington, who also founded the Hispanic Society. And speaking of Sorolla, this is his Provinces of Spain, Valencia, dated 1911 to 1916. This colorful festival scene is set in the province of Valencia, where Sorolla was born. You'll notice the impressive bunch of oranges for which Valencia is so famous. And another one of Sorolla's works, this one not part of the Visions of Spain cycle, is called Beaching the Boat Late Afternoon Sun, done in 1903. It also features Valencia at the turn of the century. At that time, teams of oxen pulling a returning fishing boat out of the waves was not an unusual sight. Next up is The Duchess of Alba by Francisco de Goya y Lucientes, done in 1797. The Duchess's full name was Doña María de Pilar Teresa Cayetana de Silva Alvarez de Toledo, quite a mouthful, and it was painted by Goya when he visited her estate near Cadiz, Spain, for about 8 months. We don't really know the exact relationship between the artist and his muse. The Duchess was 35 years old and recently widowed, and Goya was 55 years old and married, but some scholars have speculated that it was more than just friendship between them. Goya did keep the painting in the studio for many years after her untimely death, which seems to show it had a great personal significance to him. This is Caliph, dated around 966. It's what is known as a pyxis, or a small box, and it's one of only 6 known to exist in the world today from the Spanish Islamic Society during the Caliphal period. The creators of most of these types of artifacts are unknown, and we know the creator of this pyxis only because Caliph broke tradition and signed it. This sculpture of St. James the Great, dated between 1525 and 1550, is by an unknown sculptor active in Galicia. The statue is special because it is carved from fossilized carbon, known as jet. Jet is a delicate substance, difficult to work at large scale, so this statuette is special in terms of its size as well as its quality. Also by an unknown sculptor around 1475 to 1500 is this wooden sculpture of St. Martin. St. Martin served in the Roman army prior to his conversion to Christianity, and according to legend, once offered a beggar half of his cloak. In a dream later that night, the beggar was revealed to be Christ himself. Although St. Martin is a 4th century saint, he is depicted here in 15th century regalia, dressed as a knight. Juan Carreño de Miranda created Virgin of the Immaculate Conception in 1670, the year before he became court painter to King Charles II. He actually painted more than 20 Immaculate Conceptions during his career. The burst of light behind this one refers to the Bible texts in which she is referred to as clothed with the sun. This is El Cid Campea Door, created in bronze in 1927 by Anna Hyatt Huntington. Anna Hyatt Huntington was a distinguished American sculptor, as well as the wife of the founder of the Hispanic Society of America, Archer Milton Huntington. This huge sculpture of El Cid at the Hispanic Society building is one of the finest examples of monumental sculpture in all of New York. The Islamic Moors called Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar El Cid, meaning the Lord, and the Christians called him El Campeador, meaning outstanding warrior or champion. After his death, of course, he became a national hero in Spain. This portrait of a little girl was painted by Diego Velzquez around 1638 to 1644. Velzquez is well known as a court painter to King Philip IV of Spain in the 1620s, and much of his work depicts royal families in their regal finery. But this portrait is really special because it captures the look of most of the rest of Spain. Plain clothes, no ribbons, jewelry, or lace. Some speculate that this anonymous little girl is the granddaughter or niece of the artist, but the inventory found after his death identified the portrait only as a young girl. This portrait of the Duke of Alba by Antonio Moro was done in 1549. Fernando Alvarez de Toledo was the 3rd Duke of Alba and an ancestor of the Duchess of Alba we displayed earlier. Moro, or Antonis More as he was known outside Spain, captured the Duke's stern personality. The Duke is best known to history for his ruthless suppression of Protestantism in the Netherlands. This vase is from Barcelona and it was created around 1580. It's one of only a handful of glass objects from 16th century Barcelona that still exist today. The vase was produced at the height of the Venetian style of glassmaking in Catalonia. It's a perfect example of the excellence of the Catalan craftsmanship. And finally, we have Pieta, created around 1575 by Dominikos Theotokopoulos, more commonly known as El Greco. He was born in Crete, but traveled to Italy to study the work of Titian, Tintoretto, and Michelangelo. Then he settled in Spain. Pieta, who painted while he was still in Rome, it clearly displays the influence that Italian artists have had on El Greco's work. So we're sorry you couldn't join us for our Visions of Spain event, but we hope we gave you a little taste of it with this presentation.